Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. Today I want to talk about some of the most important things I keep in my boat that a lot of people probably wouldn't think about having, but I can assure you these are things once you have them in your boat, you're not going to want to forget them again. These are anywhere from being really little gadgets up to a little bit more expensive, but they will save the day at times. So I want to walk you through these because I get a lot of questions from people. What do you keep in your boat? What are, give us a boat tour, and I will give you a boat tour. But I figured I'd give you a simple breakdown of some of these small things that I think are the most important things that you can have. So we're going to walk you through each of these. You hear a lot of horror stories from people on the water. They get stuck out there, or they get into an accident. They cut themselves, they get a hook in them. It could be a lot of different things. And if you don't have the right items, your day can go from disastrous to even worse. But if you have the items, it can save the day. It can keep you on the water, can just make you feel a lot more comfortable as well in case something does go wrong. So I'm going to walk you through each of these. I've got 5 different things for you. We're going to start with one that is extremely important, but yet probably one of the simplest. And you probably own one of these. You just don't keep it in your boat. And we're talking about a multi-purpose screwdriver, guys. This is a screwdriver that the base opens up, and I've got pretty much every tip possible. I keep this in my boat at all times because if you go through your boat, or whether you're a kayak fisherman even, there's a lot of different types of screws that you need different tips for. So if you carry 1 or 2 screwdrivers, that's great, but that might not solve the problem. So like a Skeeter uses a lot of star bits. If I have motor issues, there's a whole range of different things that could be in the motor. Your Phillips, your flat heads, whatever it is, I've got all different bits here. It looks like 20 different bits, so I know I'm covered when I'm out. You'd be amazed at how often I pull this out. I would bet you almost every time I'm out in my boat, I'm doing something with this, whether I'm tightening something down, or maybe I need to get into something. It could be various things. But this stupid little screwdriver I'm going to say I've had this thing for 15 years. It has saved my butt more than once. Next up, let's talk about some simple tape. This is just some medical tape. I've got 2 different kinds that I carry with me in my day box. This is an adhesive tape. This is more like to keep bandages on. A lot of times they use it. But I really like both of these for a couple of things. Sometimes if you get a cut, or sometimes you're catching a ton of fish and you're starting to get like a hook rash type thing, or you get bass thumb so bad to the point where it hurts, or sometimes you actually end up getting blisters, even not necessarily from catching fish, but a lot of times if you're fishing a new technique that's a little bit more aggressive. Like for me, if I go out and I fish a jerkbait for the first time in the spring, a lot of times I'll end up getting a blister from that because I haven't had a rod and reel in my hand for like 4 months at that point. But I really like this athletic medical tape because it really forms to the skin. You probably see me wear it a lot of times in some of my videos. It's just a soft, meshy material that's stretchy. So like when you do put it on your hand, it just kind of blends in with your hand and like really conforms. So if you bend your fingers around, it fits well. I just feel like this is something that not only is it good in case of emergency, it's also something that just makes your day on the water a little bit more comfortable. And at the same time, I have pulled these tapes out for other issues that aren't necessarily, something on my body. It could be something where I'm just looking to have a temporary fix, and that basically works as tape. So it's something to keep in mind. Really simple. You can get it at any of your local pharmacies. I absolutely love it. Next up, another one. Guys, this is my Yugo Slim. This is a waterproof phone case. I carry several Yugos in my boat. I've talked about them before on the channel, but I don't think people recognize how valuable these actually are. For me, one of the things now as I make a lot of content, the ability to be able to put my phone in the case, shoot content underwater, leave my phone out all day, knowing that it's probably going to get wet at some point in the day, whether it rains or I splash a wave over the side or I swing fish into the boat. The point is it protects my phone. Now I've got other cases as well that I keep my wallet in, my keys in, and therefore I know if it falls overboard, it's going to float. I'll be able to get it back. The other thing that I do And a lot of you probably know this as well. There's little clips on these, little carabiner clips. So I take a carabiner, clip my Yugo Slim to it, or my regular Yugo case, depending which one I have in the boat with me that day. And then I connect it to my life vest. And that way, not only if I get thrown from the boat, will I know my valuables are safe, but they're with me at that point and I can call for help if I need it. I started doing that. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a gentleman who ended up getting thrown from a boat at Lake Okeechobee probably 5 years ago. And I just remember thinking to myself, had he had his phone on him, he could have called for help, because the idea is that he was probably alive for quite some time before he ended up actually passing away. And had you been able to call for help, or you get tracked because your phone is on you, it's really valuable. So ever since that unfortunate accident happened, I've taken that. I take my Yugo case, I clip it to my life vest, so it's always connected to me. So if something does happen, I know I'm going to be safe, as well as my valuables. So check them out. They are a sponsor of mine. Absolutely great people. One of my longest sponsors, to be honest with you. And I love their products. So I probably don't give them enough shout outs. Guys, go support them. I'll put the link up in the video description so you can go check them out. They make stuff for tablets and big iPads and all kinds of stuff. Amazing company. Next up, this case right here. Pretty straightforward, simple case. This is one that makes sure, or allows me to make sure I get home safe. I keep in here, this is my my battery charger kit. Got them. It's a NOCO. This is just a little lithium battery jumper, so I can connect this to my starting battery to make sure that my big motor gets going. Now, I gotta say, ever since I've been running the Power Pole Charge, I haven't had any issues. I haven't needed to jump, but I still keep it in the boat. I make sure it's charged before each tournament, just in case something happens, because you never know. But in reality, most people aren't running a Power Pole Charge because that charging system is pretty expensive. You can get one of these for a couple $100, and I'll tell you what, it's an expense that when you need it, you're really glad you made it. So in my boat, I actually carry this. I've got another charger pack that I had before this one, so I figured I might as well keep that in the boat. And I have battery or jumper cables just in case. I've had a lot of bad issues with it way in the past, so I've got a lot of this stuff. But the other thing I do with this is I end up giving this out to a lot of other anglers that I run into on the water that are in need of a jumper pack, and I just say, take the case, give it back to me. And at that point, knowing that I've got two in the boat, it makes me feel a lot more comfortable giving it to an angler in need when I know I can get it back from them. The last one, I've talked about this on the channel too. This is, you can't even really tell anymore. This is a dock stick. I absolutely love these things. They come in a set of two, and this hooks up to the boat and to the dock. So every time I pull up to the landing, I can pull these out. But the key here is it keeps my boat away from the dock. So it keeps it connected to the dock, but it keeps the boat from banging into the side of the dock, which, if you guys use a boat and you're ever at a boat launch that's somewhat busy, you know that there's a lot of times big waves in that area. And unfortunately, boats get banged up against the side of the dock, get chipped into gel coat. It ends up being very expensive. These things work great. As you can see, I mean, I've worn them up. These have been in my boat for years now. Absolutely love them. Dock sticks are great. I think there's a couple other brands making something somewhat similar at this point. But a great product. So if that's something that you have, or you live on a busy lake with a busy boat launch, look at getting a dock stick. I can't tell you how often I'm at the boat ramp and I'm like tying up to the dock and people come and look at them and they really like them. So check them out, guys. So those are 5 things that I have to have in my boat. They're just those things that make my day on the water that much easier. So hopefully this gave you guys a couple ideas that you might not have in your boat, but you're going to go out now and get them, or get something similar to put in your boat, because they really can be something that will turn a bad day into a good day. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the comment section, what are some of the things that you have in your boat that might be small or unknown that you think other people would want to have in their boat? I'd love to hear from you, because I got a little bit more space where I can throw a few things in. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. We'll have a new video coming out tomorrow for you.